We'll go ahead and go live. Hell yeah. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck it. What you up to, man?
Fuck, I left work about, so here's the shitty thing. So I had my lead talked into letting me leave work like an hour early.
Mm.
And I was like, fuck yeah. Oh, so now you're going to get over. Now that I'm in this lane, you want in this lane. No! No! Sorry to bark at him. Anyways. So I had my lead talked into let me leave like an hour early. I was like, bro, I've racked up some overtime. I was like, why don't you just let me clock out at 5? And he's like, I don't give a fuck. He said, everything's slow. Everything's looking good. Go ahead, take off. I said, okay. It was like 30 minutes. I shit you not. I clock out at 6 o'clock. At like, was it 4:55? We had a 10-minute windstorm that came through, knocked out power, knocked down 4 plants. And I'm talking just, Mother Nature basically took her big fat cock and just shoved it right in my ass, balls deep, and just came in my mouth.
That is rough, dude. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. That sucks. Waiting on folks to start showing up. I wonder where Boomer's at. Boomer Justin. Hey, for all you people on TikTok Live, go to my bio, click that link that's in it, and go pay attention to what's happening right on here. So click the link in my bio and come watch over there. Jason, what was that?
I said, come on.
Come on. Yeah, there's usually a few by now, but we did start a little early. I wonder where Boomer's at.
Yeah. No say.
No say, dude. I've been on getting on and off of roofs all day, and I'm freaking beat.
I bet, dude. That sun beating down on you, that shit ain't no joke.
Dude, and the heat reflects off those shingles, man.
Yep.
It gets hot up there. It gets hot. Dude, I remember last summer, in the summer whenever school ain't happening, I'm usually working a lot more. I had this job up in Arlington. Super steep roof. I had cougar paws, so I mean, like, you know, it's like I could get on it, you know, but man, and it was in the heat of the summer. Here's Boomer. What's up, Boomer?
Hey, what's going on? Like, no warning. It's like, here I am.
Hey, what's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
I was just talking about how I was getting on and off roofs all day, and I had this job in Arlington last year. It was a super steep roof, but I had like these special roofing shoes. They have these sponges on the bottom of the shoes. They're called cougar paws. But dude, the steeper the roof, like the harder it is to keep your balance. So like the more physically strenuous it is, and if it's like super hot, like middle of the summer, dude, I remember I got off that roof just drenched in sweat. That client was like, "Wow, you just worked your ass off."
Dude, if there's something,
I mean, I just walked around for a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about roofs, man, but like, I'll get on the roof if I've got to. Like, if my wife is like, "Babe, we need you to do," I'm like, all right, but like, man, it's not about getting up there, it's about getting down for me. That's when I'm like, my legs start to wobble, and I'm getting better at like the ladder technique. I know to put the ladder like, you know, a couple feet above, you know, because I've made that mistake of having it too low, and then I feel like I don't know where I'm going to put.
And then you have to like tiptoe back onto the ladder.
It's scary. It's scary for me. It's scary. Like, I'm trying to like I'm trying to get down, and my leg starts to like wobble, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fall.
Dude, there's entire safety courses on how to get on and off a ladder. It's crazy.
Yep.
But dude, hey, I just want to say thanks for having me on the podcast. What is your podcast name?
It's Middle Ground Mission. So I don't really. Sometimes I talk about it in my TikToks and everything. I kind of lose sight of all that. I have like a clothing line. It's a merch line called Middle Ground Mission. And yeah, there's a website to it called middlegroundmission.com, and that's what I decided to name the YouTube.
I like it.
Yeah, because here on YouTube is where I can really meet up with. I can do what One Guy's Opinion does a lot with Victoria Hammett and everything. My goal is to get to where like basically do exactly that, but it just get on here and just bullshit with each other.
So do you have it hooked up to like Twitch and to Facebook as well?
No, just StreamYard. StreamYard is all.
So StreamYard, but is this connected to YouTube right now?
Yes.
Nice. All right. So you should set up a Twitch as well, man. And then I mean, I don't ever log on to my Twitch, but it's available for people on Twitch who want to watch it.
Oh, okay.
See, I
So
always
all
thought
your
Twitch was more for gamers.
No, it's actually, I mean, it's how it started out. But I mean, people watch podcasts and stuff all the time on Twitch.
I'll be damned. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. But dude, I just want to say, Jace, it's a great honor and privilege to be invited on your show. I mean, I can't tell you, I've been waiting for the call anxiously every day, and finally you reached out, and I said it's a great day.
There's so many YouTube channels out there. There's so many. And just one. Thanks, dude. Dude, I'm super happy to have both of y'all, man. So some of y'all, some people who are going to be tuning in probably follow one of you or the other or both, or I don't know. But Corey, just go ahead and introduce yourself, what you do for a living when you're not TikToking, what do you do on TikTok when you are TikToking, all that good stuff.
Whenever I'm not on TikTok, I work on a natural gas processing plant in New Mexico, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And on my days off, I work construction with a buddy of mine, play with my kids, shoot guns, fish, man with shit.
Yeah.
Get pedicures, shit like that. And on TikTok, I'm basically just a fat, funny piece of shit. That's kind of my go-to.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Dude, I remember the day you added me. I remember I went through some of your videos. I was like, this is just funny. It's just hilarious. You got the same exact sense of humor as me. All right, Boomer.
Let's see.
I think Corey was what were you gonna add?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, keep going.
No. I'm just saying because a lot of my humor gets taken off of TikTok, like a ton of it. And some of it's rightfully so, because I've got a dark ass sense of humor.
But dude, dark humor has no limits. You know what I'm saying? If you partake in dark humor, you sign that dotted line that there is no limits. In my friend circle, at least.
Yeah, I've got Marine Corps buddies of mine that send me memes. And every now and again, I'll get a buddy of mine that'll catch me off guard, and he'll send me a meme, and I'll read it, and I'll go, "Oh fuck!" And then I feel a little piece of my soul tear off in a way, and it floats off into the nothingness and evaporates. And then I'm like, "That's awesome!"
Oh, dude! Imagine being 3 weeks deep in the field, been digging fighting holes and sleeping in holes and stuff, and your mind is delirious at this point, and then all you have to do to pass time is just tell fucked up jokes, stories. Oh man, it got dark.
That's why I appreciate Adam Driver so much. You know what I mean? Because he's out there in Hollywood. What did he play in Star Wars? I forget. I'm not big on the Star Wars stuff, but you know what I'm talking about, Adam Driver.
Adam Driver.
Yeah, he's he played what's the Kylo Ren?
Kylo Ren? Okay, yeah, he was a Mortarman at my unit. I didn't know his name, but yeah, the guy who played Kylo Ren, he was a Mortarman at 1-1.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty crazy. But what's his name?
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. Yeah, Google it, dude. He was a Mortarman at 1-1 Weapons Company.
That's awesome. Well, because it was at one of the so I don't watch the shows, the celebrity award shows and stuff like that. It's a bunch of rich celebrities giving each other kudos. They're already making millions of dollars and billions of dollars, and it's
oh my God.
Yeah. So, but it was somebody was telling, it might have been Ricky Gervais or whom I like a lot, was saying it was like dark humor. And you could see the difference between a military person and then just a regular civilian. It was like Tom Hanks, and he was just kind of and then you saw Adam Driver, and he was kind of he gets it, you know. And I think a lot of people don't realize that the dark humor, and I think it is what gets us through, like you said, when you're in a hole, when you're I mean, it's a different feeling when you have hot lead intended for you flying over your head. You know what I'm saying? So like, guys will. It's a way to detach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Detach from the situation and joke about your head getting blown off because, you know what I mean? It's almost like you're trying to like lessen that blow. You know?
And full disclaimer, all my war stories are all training. I never entered the sandbox.
Okay, all right.
But we did. We trained our asses off, and but dude, I've heard some pretty crazy stories. But from my friends who had been in, early enough to where they had went to Iraq or Afghanistan or something. They said the dudes that got off that plane went well, I don't really give a shit if I die or not. He's like, those are the dudes that always made it.
Yeah.
The dudes that always made it are the ones that are just like, all right, well, this might be my last patrol, but fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you got to be default aggressive. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're not, then that's where stuff just falls apart. You know what I mean? So a little bit about me, I was, so in another lifetime, I was a hospital corpsman. I was doc. And so for 10 years, and when I was deployed, I was actually in the northern tip of Kuwait. I was in a camp called Camp Buren, and there was a camp ahead of us called Navistar, and that was like the closest to Iraq. But right before we got there, Navistar QRF'd and closed up. And so Camp Buren became the most forward camp. So we were running CASRAC missions and all that kind of stuff, in the four-liter ambulances and all that stuff. So I'm sticking IVs in guys like left and right, and it's just so funny because like ask me to stick an IV in somebody sitting in a chair, and I'm like, but like put me in the back of like an FLA, and it's like all of a sudden I can just do it like going over bumps. You could have an IED go off, and I'm like up in the air, like give me your arm, But
Dude, learning how to operate in stressful conditions, like you start like itching for it. You're like, wow, I really wish I could like actually use this in a lifetime.
You never know how you're gonna perform or react in those situations. So like even corpsmen that go through Corps school, it's like they haven't even gone through FMF yet, Fleet Marine Force training. But like, and then you see that they have like a fear of like the sight of blood, and you're like, well, probably not the job for you. You know what I mean? But even those guys that are like so moto and so like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna slap the tourniquet on. I'm gonna don't worry, you're not gonna bleed out, but I'm gonna chop your arm off. Those are the guys that are like, that will like freeze, and they won't know what to do. What I've always seen, it was always the like, almost like the calm, reserved guys, and that's when it just kind of like everything slows down for you. If you've ever been in a car accident, if you've ever been in any kind of like stressful situation like that, time almost like just kind of slows down a little bit, and you just get super, super focused on what's in front of you. So like, and that was always my experience when I was out there. So, but yeah, so Boomer Justin on TikTok. In the real world, I'm a scientist. I'm a medical lab scientist. I used to work LCMS, which is liquid chromatography, mass spectrometry. But now I just work in a hospital, and I do, patient samples and stuff. So I work in the blood bank. I work in chemistry. So I pretty much do it all there. But on the TikTok side of things, when I'm not being dad, with the 4 kids that I got and the missus who I keep around. I mean, I keep her around. She's nice. Yeah.
Nice lady.
Good thing she'll probably never see this, right?
She's obviously not there right now.
She's probably watching. It's gonna be like Big Mama Boomer's watching. That's what she named herself on TikTok. Like,
Big Mama Boomer, I love it.
She's following one person, me. She's just following one person, me, and I'm like, babe. I'm like, that makes it look so sus. That's like you don't trust me. Like. Yeah. You just want to see what I'm doing, and that's so humiliating. I'm like,
big Mama Boomer.
Yeah, Big Mama Boomer. She's not even big, but it's Big Mama Boomer, bro. That's her Venmo too, and I'm like,
that's hilarious. Yeah, I was talking to Corey on the phone earlier today, and I was just telling him about you a little bit. I was like, yeah, he's like a chemist or some shit. He's like, really?
Yeah, so I was on. So the cat's out of the bag. So I was on OAN for an interview because I was on there as Mr. J, right? Because I was afraid that like Hillary Clinton was gonna like knock on my door and be like, "She."
Yeah, if I could hang you, yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to die like all the other guys have died, but so they were supposed to. I don't want to end up like Benghazi, like asking for help, and like Hillary's like, "Nah, it's okay, chill." Our government.
He just posted a bad video. That's all he did. It's fine.
Yeah. You can ask for help all you want. I'm not sending anything. But anyway, so it was basically me because it was during the height of all the COVID testing and stuff, and I'm testing those samples every single day. So a reporter reached out to me because I reached out to them and said, "Hey, listen, I'm seeing some like weird stuff going on with this testing. Like, I'm taking coronavirus control material it's like a buffer, right? The buffer is supposed to have nothing in it. It's a buffer. Like I'm at like saline or like a proprietary like blend. And I was taking that buffer and I was running it like on our flu analyzers, which the ones that test flu and the ones that test COVID, it's the same little machine. You know what I mean? But it's just you put different material on it and it'll give you that readout. So I was testing that COVID buffer on the flu analyzer and it was coming back positive for flu B. So quality control material for coronavirus was coming back positive for influenza. You know what I mean? So it was just, there were so many different like.
So does that mean that they're the same thing, or does that mean that they're opposite, or does it mean
I don't know, man? We got flu A, we got flu B. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
coronavirus, flu C. It's actually technically a rhinovirus, which is just a cold. It's an aggressive virus that attacks the respiratory system like acutely. So, it's like a cold on steroids. And that's why it affects people that have weaker immune systems. The not 99.97% of people who can rely on their immune systems to fight it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
it was funny.
Anyway.
I was right after my divorce, probably about a year after my divorce, I was poking around through Tinder, and it was like right when Corona first came out. And it was the funniest shit I ever saw. It was this chick that she was like, woman with Lyme disease in search of man with coronavirus.
Wait, say the last part.
It said woman with Lyme disease in search of man with coronavirus.
Coronavirus. Get
coronavirus and Lyme disease. Nice. I truly hope she has Lyme disease.
That's pretty good.
Oh, Jesus. Why would you hope she has Lyme disease?
Right.
I truly hope that that's a true story and she's telling the truth. Best of luck to her. Best of luck to her. I'm just.
But dude, we also had people coming in that were getting tested for only coronavirus, right? So people were presenting with like flu symptoms, and doctors were told don't test for flu, only test for coronavirus. So we're testing a gajillion coronaviruses, right? And we're not testing flu. So I was like on my own was taking patient swabs and like transferring some of it to like another clean swab so I could still test their coronavirus. And I was testing it for flu. And a lot of people came back positive for flu, but guess what? They never got tested for it officially. And you can't really, you just treat the symptoms. So the flu numbers that were like basically gone, they weren't gone. It was just covered up. It was masked.
Yep.
Get it? It was masked.
Masked.
It was masked, by Dr. Fauci and all. He's the master of the flip and the flop.
So, like, and I remember like some parts like late last year, I'd get notifications from the Epoch Times saying like, confirmed that person who died with coronavirus but from a car crash was part of the COVID death count. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can't find
shark but killed by coronavirus.
Yeah, it's like that guy gets run over by steamroller. They test the soup. Came back positive for coronavirus.
Yeah, dude.
He died from coronavirus, not the steamroller that flattened him into soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that went on.
I had a friend of mine who was a nurse who she tested the inside of an apple. Like she took an apple she took for lunch, cut it open, and swabbed the inside of the apple, the meat of the apple, and it came back positive for coronavirus for one of those rapid tests.
I'm telling you, man.
And so now when
It's
they're
gonna
like,
be-
"Hey, are you getting tested?" I'm like, "They can't test me," and they're like, "Why not?" Because I won't fucking let them.
Yeah, right.
Dude, it's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the most sensational conspiracy, or like not conspiracy, but like uncovering of wrongdoing in the next 5-10 years. It'll all come out. I got that feeling, man. So did you get did you guys get vaccinated? No, I didn't either. Yeah, right. I got to figure out which hand to hold up because it's like reverse. Dude, they're so spun up about that. So
JFG started that shit.
I know. How many times have you seen where people are like, "Duh, look at the name of the sound guys. You guys are idiots." Duh. And I'm like, they don't realize that we did it to take over the sound. They don't understand that we don't care that it says get your vaccinations or whatever it's. We don't care.
Yeah. Oh, the sound said get your vaccine.
Yes, if you go back and look at the sound says go get your vaccination.
30 times better. That makes
and that's why. And so that's why JFG reached out to me, and he was like, "Dude, we're just taking over the sound, man. So now we gotta take over like a Harry Potter sound, or just something else to just create pandemonium."
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy the stuff that like you'll make a video and it'll just be like an everyday video, you know. And you ever had that like one video where you made it and then 5 minutes later you came back and it's at like 12,000 views and you're like, what?
You're like, I put nothing into that.
Oh my God. Why is this happening right now? All I did was talk.
Meanwhile, the video that you spent like an hour and a half perfecting gets
it's
like
800 views.
See, I never spend any large amount of time on a TikTok. The most amount of time I spend on a TikTok is when I'm in my truck on the plant trying to make one.
Yeah.
And somebody comes over the fucking radio. It's like, I need something done. This. I'm like, God, turn the fucking radio down and restart. God damn it. Fuck.
My problem is I'll get in front of my camera and I'm like, hey guys, oh fuck. Hey, was it? Oh fuck. Hey, so this? Oh shit. It's just like,
don't mind me. I'm just eating my banana. Don't mind me.
Wait, you ate that way.
Come on. The way you're eating that, you're making my dick wiggle. Stop. It's
so delicious.
Oh my God.
I love my bananas, bro.
I love bananas.
I'm serious. Did you see?
One thing I love about you, Boomer, is that, well, and you too, Court, y'all both laugh at y'all's own jokes just like me.
Yeah.
They're the
You don't think
best.
it's funny? The joke's a joke.
Boomer will get done roasting somebody and he'll go, in the video, and that'll just be the end of the video.
Do you know how many times? Do you know how many times I have to stop? I have to redo a video because I'll start laughing in the middle of it, and I'm like, because I won't have enough time to get out what I want to get out, and then it's just there are so many times I've done, and it's not even like I'm not just trying to create outtakes; they just happen, and I'm like, yeah, but, I don't know, man. Certain stuff just tickles me the right way, and like,
if there was a way to hang on to outtakes, like bits and pieces of it, and like send it all to one video, ooh, that's a new feature they should
I know.
be able to take one and then like put it all in like a separate
just like a separate little. I mean,
a jump video.
You could technically just draft it if you wanted.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you mess up, just save to draft and then continue on. But
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's If you're not laughing at your own joke, and if you're not watching your own video a minimum of 15 times after you post it, why are you posting it, bro?
Yes.
Like, okay, watch your own video.
Really? Does that even work?
Dude, no, I'm just saying. I'm so full of myself that I'm going to watch the video that I just made at least 15 times.
Oh, to like know that it's okay. I got you.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it.
I thought you were like trying to help yourself out in the algorithm. I was like, I don't know if that works.
No. I don't even think if you're watching your own, I don't know if it helps your own, but like, I'm just going to watch myself. Like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Not to be conceited, you know, but it's just like, I find it funny, so I'm going to watch it 15 times.
Oh, well, yeah, some of this shit I come up with sometimes. It's like,
dude, I still think the funniest video that you made was the one where you were like dropping like elbows in the video, where you like went flying across the screen, Jace. I can't remember what it was about. Do you remember that one where you were like, oh yeah, like you dropped, like you came across the screen with like a flying elbow? You don't remember that? Do you remember it? And you did like a pose, and then you like, dude, it was.
I think that's when Greg Abbott lifted the mask ban.
Yes, dude. I swear I watched that video 1,000 times. I was dying.
Thank you.
And it was that elbow. You like did the tap and then like you do.
I forget sometimes that you can't just like look, Harley. I forget sometimes that you have to like get their viewers' attention like that, like real quick. Like sometimes I'll just start making a video and I'll just start talking, you know, about what I'm talking about. But I forget that like you really have to to get really a part of the algorithm. You have to like get their attention right there to make them stay.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Why do you think I eat fruit in weird ways in my videos? like when I eat, I'll be like duetting someone's video that's like a really like intense, like thought-provoking duet, and I'm just sitting there like eating a kiwi, skin and all, and then people are like, dude, I had to watch the video again because all I could do was watch you eat the kiwi with the skin on. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, they're like eating the banana peel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's funny that you just got to find some off-colored shit that people are going to be like. I can't help but comment on that. Like, I just can't help.
Yeah, and then they have to watch the video again to like because they were so focused they didn't get anything the first time. So like, okay, I'm going to watch it this time.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, I can't like take my clothes off though because I'm kind of fat and my wife wouldn't like that. I got some heft. You know, I'm muscular, but like I'm still losing a lot of weight. I'm working hard, so like eventually, one day, the shirt will
good. I think you look great. I think y'all both look great.
Jace, that's homosexual stuff there.
Don't make me turn down.
It's okay. My co-host on TikTok conservative.
Okay? You don't need to keep this shit up.
You know?
What's that, Corey?
I said he's already started the dick wiggling with the banana. Don't keep it going, okay?
Dude, it's so crazy. I didn't know until he gave me his phone number in my DMs on TikTok whenever I was trying to get him on the show. And he called me and he was like, dude, where are you from, man? I was like, I'm from Brownwood, Texas. He's like, yeah, where do you live right now? I was like, I live in Stephenville. He's like, where are you from? I was like, I lived in Granbury for a year. He said, we're getting somewhere. This dude lives 45 minutes away from me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
This dude, the interstate's like 22 miles away from me. Once I get on the interstate, he's like a 15-minute drive.
Yep.
So I'm in the great state of Tennessee.
I lived there. I lived in Springfield for about 5 years when I was a kid.
Yeah, right over by the Smoky Mountains. Call me Mountain Man Boomer.
I was about to say, you seem like you would live by the mountains.
Lieutenant Aldo Rain. I want my scalps. I'm gonna get my scalps.
I want my scalps. Come on to my unit. You take on Divot.
That's it.
And Justin,
and if you remember, he's his from the Smoky Mountains. In that he talks about being from the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah, Mountain Man Jim Bridger.
That's right. But yeah, so I'm kind of known. Like when I do my lives and stuff like that, I do a lot of impersonations mildly well. You know what I'm saying? Like not like at like professional level, but like, like who I'm doing. Like if I'm like, wow, it's not a podcast.
Pretty good Trump earlier.
It's a cast
This is no joke.
See? Yeah.
See, when I'm working out, the pump is like I'm coming. I'm coming at the gym. I'm coming at home. I'm coming backstage. Have you seen?
I don't know why. I've always
you've
been
seen
super
Pumping Iron,
partial to Billy Bob Thornton when he played. What the fuck did he? Carl and shit. That's the guy. You know what I'm talking about, here.
Yeah.
Sling Blade.
You're talking about Sling Blade?
Sling Blade.
Yeah.
Sling Blade, yeah.
It ain't got no gas in it. Mashed potatoes.
Oh, dude. I haven't watched Sling Blade in like 2 years.
It ain't got no gas in it. I did that sound during that whole like the gas shortage or whatever. Said everybody's gonna be like looking at their gas tanks. It ain't got no gas in it.
Dude, there's oh my god! I'm assuming this combat vet made a video. He's like, he pulls up in his truck and his boss says, "Where you been?" He said, "I just went to get gas." He said, "You wouldn't believe what it costed me." He gets out. He's a right arm and a left arm and a left leg amputee.
See, that's the kind of dark humor,
Dark
man.
humor. That's it. That's it.
Dude's got no arm, no leg, and he's just like joking about it, man.
Oh, he had the most badass metal prosthetics. He had them dipped. I don't remember what design it had on, but they were fucking cool. He got the chuggies and shit's getting expensive.
So I listen a lot, like podcast wise. I listen to Jocko Willink. Do you know who Jocko Willink is? So he was Navy SEAL commander for Task Force Bruiser. Chris Kyle was in his unit.
Okay.
So he was one of the first units into Ramadi. So it was actually Task Force Bravo, but he renamed it Bruiser because you're gonna like brand your unit and be badass. I mean, you gotta like give your guys, And so, but Jocko has his own line of health products and all that other stuff, and he's like, he goes into companies now and helps them with their organizational structure and leadership, and he's written books, and but he has like the most awesome people on his podcast. But he's just very like intense. So when you get a chance, look up Jocko Willink, just the way it sounds, Jocko, Jocko Willink. And when you see his face, you're gonna be like dude is intense, but like super like insightful. And I mean, he talks and he's got awesome, not like key stories, but like just awesome take on everything. And the guy gets up at like 4:30 in the morning every morning. Not that I get up at 4:30 in the morning every morning, but he makes me want to get up in the morning at 4:30. I'm telling you, if you listen to him, I'm serious. It's like Tony Robbins stuff. Like you will like want to change your life when you listen to Jocko. I'm not kidding. Yeah, check him out.
I tell you, who's a really phenomenal motivational speaker is Zig Ziglar. If you can find some of his old stuff, and he's dead now. But just if you can look up Zig Ziglar, that dude will teach you how to think about your whole life different.
Zig Ziglar.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
That's how Jocko is, man. Yeah. He's like so like he'll answer questions at the end, right? And they'll be like, Jocko, they'll write the question and then he'll read it on air and then he'll answer it and they'll be like, Jocko, I can't seem to do this like exercise routine. My right leg has been like, getting in the way, hurting. And he's like, what can I do to like get through this, like this workout, this exercise? And he's like, well, just get rid of your leg. He doesn't really mean it, you know what I mean? But like he'll just say stuff like that. And they're like, how do I get over this like incredible, like, horrible boss at work? How do I deal with this? How do I get over it? And he's just like, you just get over it. You know what I mean?
It's not rocket science.
It's like that one old man that does TikTok, Be a Man.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love Be a Man. He's from like Boston, and so I'm originally from New England, right? So like, the whole Boston Be a Man. Like, did you see the one about kick the ice under the fridge?
Yeah. Yeah. You
It's
don't
like-
think of that ice, kick it in the fridge.
He's like, when you drop ice on the floor, kick it under the fridge. Be a man. Dude, he's got such awesome ones, man.
There's one he does where it's like, if you're in a war and you get shot, don't ask for help. Die. Be a man. Jesus, dude.
Don't talk about your feelings. Be a man.
Be a man. Yeah, don't talk about your feelings.
There's just oh my God, there's so many. Like I was scrolling that TikTok, his page, for like an hour. Just every single one. Freaking dying, man. Like every little, I'm like, this is genius. Like, why didn't I think of this? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Oh
you can
my
just be like, what's his name? You can just be like, what's his name, and steal it. What's that big creator? Newman or whatever? Yeah. I did just create a dance trend, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
A what?
A dance trend. I tagged you in it, bro.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna like. It's called the Biden empty pocket walk. So do you know the sound where it's like bum 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 bum, and people like they like walk away, like kind of like it's like you're looking at their backside. You know
I
what I'm
think
talking
so.
about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And they're just you just kind of like walk away goofy and kind of shake your rump a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did that. But like the little twist was I did like an about face, boom, and then right when the sound hits, like the beat drops, I pull both of my pockets out like elephant ear style, and I walk away like that, dude. It's hot. It's going viral.
Is it?
Oh, dude. I don't know how many views it's got. Hold on. I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now. It's called the Pocket Walk, man. It's amazing.
I'll have to imitate that.
I got to make sure that I'm following Corey. I'm going to do that right now.
Dude,
I'm gonna go ahead and call you today and tell you you're not, because Jay sent me your ad and I went to you and followed you and watched a couple of your videos. And I was like, oh,
dude, his roast video, his clapback videos are the best.
Who, mine?
Yes, yours are so funny.
So listen, I try.
Because you're so like you're not aggressive. Like if I get real passionate about like if I'm like, dude, what you're saying is literally so fucking stupid. Like please, like I don't say that, but I can get pretty aggressive. You are like unscathed at all times. You're just like you're fucking stupid.
I try, and it all depends on who, because I try not to do too many of them, because I just don't want to be a channel where I'm just like clapping back at people.
Yeah,
I'll pick and choose, you know. So there was this one girl who like I made a support of the Thin Blue Line and the police and all that stuff and all that stuff, and on that video where I'm talking about like thanking police officers because beds go untucked at night because they die. Do you know what I mean? Because they're like they're running into danger and not away. And I see this thing, it just says ACAB, and I'm like, dude, like aside from you like regurgitating what you heard, did you not just like watch my video and not feel any kind of like, did something not well up in your throat and make you feel like a little emotional?
Nothing resonated in that video whatsoever.
So I go to the profile page, and what do you guess? What it's a young white girl. She's maybe 12 years old, and I'm like, so this isn't really her position. This is just what she like, her friends so she doesn't really understand. So I'm not gonna like try to destroy a 12-year-old. I'm not gonna try to destroy a 12-year-old. But anyway, so I tried to do it in a way that I was like, listen, I don't want people to go back on her. I don't want people to attack her, but I want her to understand something. When I go to your profile page and I see, what is it, Free Palestine, okay? And you're saying all cops are bad. And I'll be like, okay, well, all Palestinians are bad. And she's like, well, no, it's just Hamas. And I'm like, well, all cops aren't bad. It's just the bad cops. You know what I mean? So I try to teach that person something. Now, if you're an older person, if you're old enough to have some sense about you, well, I'll come at you like, with some good stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe I should do more of those, but Anyway, that girl, she had like pronouns in her profile in Free Palestine. So I think I mentioned it. I mentioned that. I was like, oh, she is. I said, I see you got your pronouns and you got Free Palestine. You're so strong.
You're brave. I remember that video. I watched it. I said you're very brave. You said you're very brave.
Oh, that's what I said. You're very brave, which was obviously sarcastic and offhanded, just really like quick, but like you're so brave for having your pronouns. You know, z, zem, zer, ziz, are. Like I'm like, I can't with the pronoun stuff. Can somebody help? Can somebody out there that like can mass produce like a hoodie that has, you know, like you can put patches on like your uniform, like the Velcro, you know, we need the pronoun pullover, right? Where you have, see, yes, the pronoun pullover where you have a big Velcro on the front and even on the sleeves. So you can have your main pronoun of the day, just slap it on. You can put it on the sleeves. Dude, I'm telling you,
if you go through all that trouble, I'll call you whatever the fuck you want.
Dude, yes. Yeah. They will sell. The pronoun pullover, bro.
I want my patch to say fuck all the way off.
Yes. My pronouns, Your Majesty. Okay, so I want you to bow and say Your Majesty. Whenever someone's like, what are your pronouns? I'm like, Your Majesty.
Yeah.
Someone's like, hey, did you get the Someone said, hey, did you get the vaccination? I'm like, hey, do you like anal? And they're like, what? I'm like, do you like anal? And they're like, why are you asking me that? I'm like, well, I kind of figured because, you know, you were asking me something that like, you know, it's private and personal. So like, do you like anal? And they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that.
Did you get
people in check about fucking being nosy?
Yeah. Did you get your HIV shot? Well, why do you want to know that? Well, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you like anal? That's funny.
Yeah.
So whenever the mask craze was like starting to kind of peak up a little bit. So do y'all remember when the mask craze started to peter off a hair with like HEB and Walmart when they stopped making you do it, but they were like, hey, do you have a mask? So HEB, like Walmart would just let you walk in, and I'd be like, I don't wear one. They'd be like, okay, just walk in. The young lady I was dating at the time, we were going to HEB, and she hands me a mask, and I'm like, I'm not fucking wearing that. She's like, they're gonna make you put it on, and I was like, bet.
And you're like, no one's gonna know.
How would they know?
But we walk in the front door, and this lady, my girlfriend's got her mask on, and she went to University of Tennessee, so it's got, you know, UT or TU, whatever the fuck, all over it, and it's got the big T. That's what it is, Tennessee. And we walk in, the lady's like, sir, do you have a mask? And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't wear one because of my asthma. She goes, oh, okay. And we just walk the fuck in. And we get like 10 feet in the door. She looks up and she goes, I fucking hate you.
No, I'll just tell people, no, I have a condition that makes it really hard to breathe with a mask on. They're like, what condition is that? I have COVID.
They're all of a sudden they're like slapping their 5 masks.
I will get 6 feet away.
Fauci said so. Fauci said so. Fauci said so. But like, so I had kind of like a hero moment with my kids, right? So like, my wife was out shopping with her stepsister, and so I had all 4. So I have 4 kids: 14, 12, 10, and 6. So like they keep me. It was easy to have kids when I was in the Navy. They were just like popping out, but. So where's the one place? And I made a video on this, and TikTok took it down because it's communist. But anyway, so
literally,
I decided to go to like all right. If there's one store, major store that you dare not walk into without a mask on, what store do you think that might be? Just take a wild guess. And it's a major store.
A major store
where you feel like they're gonna track you down to wear a mask.
Home Depot.
I'm gonna say, oh man.
Think retail.
In retail.
Think retail.
Okay.
Not Walmart.
Louis Vuitton.
Target.
Now listen. I'm not walking into Louis Vuitton with my 4 kids. I can tell you that. Like, I got that kind of money. What did you say, Corey?
Target.
Target. Yes, it was Target, right?
Wow, I was even gonna say Target, but
It was Target. It was totally
Wow.
Target. So we walk in, and now, mind you, because one of my kids had like a cough, I was like, all right, kiddos, I'm going to make you guys wear the masks, okay? But I'm not going to. Actually, my oldest wasn't wearing one either. So I let the youngest, because they kind of had a cough, and I was like, I know people are still freaking out about that stuff, but I'm not wearing a mask. I just need to run in, grab something real quick, and we're going to be out. So we walk in, and there's a lady in front of me with her like mom in a wheelchair. Okay, now the mom in the wheelchair has a mask on. The lady next to her, her daughter, doesn't. And so I see this like young Target employee, and she's just doing her job. I get it.
Yeah.
But she says to the daughter with the mom in the wheelchair, do you need a mask? Do you have a mask? And she's like, oh no, I don't. And the lady said, well, I don't have any masks. We're gonna have to ask you to leave. And she like looks at her poor mom in the wheelchair, elderly mom. It's like, Mom, all right, I'll go wait out in the car, and you just go ahead and get. And she's in a wheelchair, man. And I'm like, what is going on right now? So here I am. Here's Boomer Justin with his whole crew. I'm like walking in with my gaggle, and we're right behind her. So like, they kind of split off, and then that girl locks in on me. She sees me because I'm wearing the bandana, right, like sticking out like a sore thumb. And she says, "Sir, do you have a mask?" And like I was already past her, so like I turned like almost like a big windmill, like with all my kids, like all of our backs were, and then we like all turned around at the same time. And I looked at this poor young girl and I said, "No, but I have my freedom in the Constitution of the United States." And we turned back around like a big windmill again, back to
one big happy family. Nice.
And just continued on walking. And there was another lady next to me. She goes, "Oh my God," she goes, "I wish I could have just said that." And I was like, "You can, because once we were
have
inside,
do-overs. Go for
dude,
it.
I'm walking around. I'm looking at everybody else in the store, and there's probably 45% of people in the store with their mask down, under their nose, on their ear. I'm like, what the hell? Nobody can.
What's even the fucking point?
The Target Gestapo didn't track me down and try to pull me and throw me out of Target. My kids looked at me like I was like, dude, Dad just went full patriot, like Mel Gibson on her. Like, so we get home. My little 6-year-old girl, Ella, like couldn't wait to tell my wife. Like, so we get home and Ella's like, Dad told the lady at Target that he has his freedom and the Constitution, and that's why he didn't wear his mask. And my wife looked at me. She said, "You didn't wear your mask?" I'm like, "No, I didn't wear my mask."
Nice.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
We took my little girl to Six Flags for her, I want to say her 8th birthday, I think. And Six Flags will make you wear a mask. They made us wear, but they had to constantly remind me because I kept forgetting that it fell off my face because of my hand. And we were walking in the front gate, and this lady, she asked me, she was like, "Sir, do you have a mask?" And I said, "I can't wear one because of my asthma." And she goes, "Oh, well, get you one of these blue paper ones. You can breathe right through it." And I was like,
Say that again.
Now, say that again.
It's like
dude.
it's like Bill Engvall. Here's your sign. Can we please bring those guys back? Can they please get back together? Ron White and Larry the Cable Guy and
the blue collar comedy crew.
Yes, can we please?
Oh man, I love that shit, man.
Oh,
Dude,
they're all conservative. I love it.
Oh man, so that's some of those are some of my favorite jokes in the world. Like the story about Jeff Foxworthy, his like cousin or some shit getting his nipple bitten off by a beaver. Like that is just the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. Do you know what story I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Like
you know that's awesome people. Like if that's the story you got, like, by a freaking beaver, man.
Yeah.
Or like Rodney Carrington. He's one of my favorites, Rodney Carrington. Oh man.
Oh my God, dude!
Yes.
His songs.
Yes. He's like, I love the way he starts like that one. He's like, where's all the fat girls at? Hear everybody go. Hear everybody go.
I saw you come in.
Woo! And he goes, hell, I saw you come in.
He's hilarious,
Go ahead
dude.
and throw your panties up here. No, don't do that. They'll probably stick to me. He's great. I love it.
Show them to me. Like
Yeah.
that's just the best songs ever.
Dude, oh yeah. And then you got there's that one where he's talking about his wife where she just like whipped it out like in the restaurant, like in the Mexican restaurant. He's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, she like whips it out. He's like, put that thing away. You're scaring the kids. It looks like an old catcher's mitt.
Nobody likes a woman with such a puss all the time.
Chimichanga.
Oh
Or the one where he's like talking about the when they go to eat at the Asian at the Chinese place.
Yeah. You
And
make fun of me, cowboy.
yeah, he says what he's like, we just got in there, we sat down, he comes up, he says, what you want to eat? And he's like, hold on, we just got here. What you want to drink? What we just sat down, give me a second, Everybody's sitting around, like how like we go to like hibachi,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
in China, are they like, do they like, or Japan, do they like do they have like the grill set up with like lawn chairs around it, and like they sit around the one big cowboy behind the grill, like, what's it gonna be, Chinky hamburger?
Yeah, but like sitting in like a booth to them is like, ooh, this is weird.
He just
We're getting all
making
cult-
fun of Chinese
But dude-
people.
Listen, people do that. So like I kind of befriended a girl who did a clapback on me, and I took mine down because she reached out to me on Instagram and was like, hey, I live in Dubai, and it's kind of like I had my stitch off because it's kind of a safety thing for me and I'm thinking to myself, in the whole video that we just talked about, it was about Free Palestine and like how their culture is like holding, people in the LGBTQ community down and women down and all this other stuff. And you're reaching out to me because you're afraid. Like, so you want me to take my video because you're afraid. I'm like, do you not see like the irony here? But anyway, so we got to talking, and she was like, you know what? After looking at your page and all that stuff, I saw that you were actually you're a pretty good guy, and so anyway, so I follow her. She follows me. She lives in Dubai, and I was watching one of her lives, and she goes, we're going to be having an American barbecue tomorrow, and I'm like, what? Like an American? So they do that, like they'll have hamburgers and hot dogs and it's an American barbecue day. You know what I mean? I think that's freaking awesome.
That's freaking cool, man. That's
That
what
is absolutely
I
cool.
love that.
But what would a Chinese American like in China, like if they did like American barbecue day, would they be like throwing like frogs in between hamburger buns?
If they wanted to celebrate like a true like American Thanksgiving, they just have a bunch of Mexican food. That's what we do.
Fuck yeah.
Taco Tuesday, bro.
I'm telling you, man, Thanksgiving is lit because there's all the turkey and all that good stuff, and then
You got
there's
the vaginas over here and the quesadillas over there.
dude, there's
The quesadillas.
there's every kind of enchiladas you could ever want. My mom makes
Yes.
the best queso you ever.
Was that so? That's a Texas thing, huh? Like,
Yeah, a lot of people like for Christmas and Thanksgiving they'll do like the traditional stuff, but like I don't know. I feel like at my family Christmas, like there's always just like that one long table full of just Mexican food.
Yes.
you got Trump, you got Donald Trump. Like remember when he was like, he's like, I really like these taco bowls. These Mexicans make the best taco bowls. They're great. Like, and how they ripped on him for that. And then you got freaking De Blasio, that boob. Like, did you see how cringe it was when he's talking about the vaccination and he's like eating the fries and the hamburger?
Oh, dude, I
like,
made a video about it.
oh my God. And he's just eating. He's like, oh, I could get
Vaccination.
I'm like, oh. And people, I'm thinking to myself, most of us with a brain are looking at that like, you're a boob. Like, you're an embarrassment. This is ridiculous.
What are you doing?
But there are other people. There are other people that are like, oh man, I gotta get my vaccination. I gotta get my burger and fries. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, I am telling you. Thanks for the lollipops. I've never seen the lollipop gift on TikTok Live. That's interesting. Thank you for all those lollipops. So.
And then you got Krispy Kreme giving out free donuts. It's like, okay, sure, let's inject some poison into your arm and then inject poison through your mouth, please. Thank you.
I spoke to one of my friends who I was
sugar-coated lies.
I spoke to one of my buddies who I was in the Marine Corps with, and he was pretty liberal throughout our he's always been like, he's always kind of leaning liberally. And I mentioned in a group chat, I was like, man, this is ridiculous. Like, they're bribing people with like burgers and fries. And one of my friends, that the buddy of mine, he goes, I'll get your vaccine, I'll get my vaccine, I'll get all y'all's vaccines for me. I'll get the vaccine and go get free burgers. I'll do the vaccine lottery. And I was like, damn, go off then, buddy. I was like, at least you're honest. I was like, fuck around. He's like an intelligent guy. He's a very, very intelligent person.
Obviously, very hungry, intelligent person.
Yeah.
I was like, God,
it's always the over like educate like, and it's like, I'm educated. Like, dude, I'm a scientist.
Yeah, you're really smart. You're mad smart.
I legitimately got my 4-year degree, my actual, like, in environmental science. Not because I just like the outdoors, but because I wanted to argue with liberals. So I'm like, okay, you guys are the ones that are always like, well, you're not an epidemiologist and you're not a virologist and you're not this and that, so you can't have an opinion. And I'm like, but you have an opinion and you're not any of those things either. So if you want to talk to me about,
I'm not a gynecologist, but I love to eat pussy. I mean, come on now.
Babe, he's just talking. No,
he
babe.
said it.
You're not a gynecologist, so you cannot be good at it.
Babe, I don't agree with what he's saying. It's all good. Don't worry. Like, we're good. I'm just kidding. No, he's not there. I'm just joking.
I agree with what I'm saying 100%. So
the bribes are ridiculous, and that's exactly what they are. They're bribes. They're bribes.
Crazy.
They're sugar-coated lies.
It's like
that's a joke.
It's like, do people think like, oh, they're just getting goofy with advertising the vaccine? You know, like, do you think like that's how people reacted? Like, is that why nobody's flipping the fuck out that some dude ate a freaking burger on live television went, ooh, vaccination, ooh, I love vaccination. What are you not saying that I am?
The dangerous part about these, the dangerous part about these stupid ass bribes is that most of the people in the United States that have a little bit of common sense are like, okay, this has got to be a joke. There's a big gaggle of motherfuckers out there that are like,
give me them fries, bitch.
Surprise, Charlie!
Charlene, get in the car, get the kids. We're going to fucking get this vaccine so we can get dinner.
We gotta get some fries, Charlie.
Come the fuck, I mean,
Kids, bring your favorite toy.
Get in the car right now.
Oh my gosh.
if you want me to go get the vaccine, you better hook me up with some fucking Papacitos or Joe's Crab Shack or something.
Oh yeah, dude.
With fucking McDonald's. No, I'm sorry. The dollar menu is not vaccine worthy.
Ethel, hurry up. They're giving out Fauci bobbleheads. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to need at least a triple dipper from Chili's. All right, like at very least triple dipper from Chili's to get a vaccine.
Yeah, it's a Fauci bobblehead. It says yes, no, and you just go like this, and its head goes yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Can somebody please make that? That's got to be a thing already. It's got to be a thing. So many ideas up here. Pronoun pullovers, Fauci bobblehead, yes or no? I'm telling you, I'm a walking Amazon. Okay, I got all the ideas.
Walking Amazon.
I'm better than Jeff Bezos
Oh my god.
because
The
I'm not a
harder in
satanic
these
pedo.
people is insane.
Okay, I'm gonna ask I'm gonna ask y'all a couple questions. In the comments, y'all think of a few questions to ask any three of us. Anything y'all want to know. But I want to know, Justin, how old are you?
How old do you think I am?
Oof. Okay.
I played this with a chick
what
one
do you
time.
put
It did
your
not
hand
end
up?
up well for me.
What do
Okay?
you put?
I'm not
What do you
playing
put
this
in
game.
your hand? What'd you say, Corey?
I said I played this game with a chick one time. It did not end well for me. Okay, I'm not fucking playing this game. Fuck you guys.
What do you? I think you're 34.
Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, so I'm 36.
Oh wow! I even thought to say 36. Fuck.
Yeah, 36. Yeah, 36 years. I was in the Navy for 10 years. I joined in 05. I graduated in 03, but joined the Navy in 05. Yep.
My oldest brother is 36.
Yep.
Nice.
So I was giving off older brother vibes. I get it. That's cool.
Dude, yeah, like same exact dude, except bald, huge beard. Yeah, we traded hair.
I do-
enormous beard and bald. If he was here, you'd get it. But it's,
I do like being like, especially on TikTok. I do love being neutral. You know what I'm saying? Like I do not concern myself with the drama. You know what I mean? Like I'm literally everybody's friend. You know what I'm saying? So like I pride myself in just being, I don't know, I can do a positive video and I can laugh my ass off at somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do both of those things and do them both well.
absolutely. And I'll laugh at myself a little bit in the meantime.
So yeah, 36 years old.
Okay.
So
Corey, how old are you?
I actually just turned 37 about a week ago.
All
Nice.
right.
Hell yeah, dude.
He leveled up.
Nice.
It's not, you're not getting older.
I
It's
felt
leveling up.
Like on my birthday, I felt like I was in the movie The Croods when they pop out of the fucking popcorn. They're like, still alive! Fuck yeah! I don't know how, but we're still fucking here.
I just turned 27 on the 7th of this month.
27. You're a baby, dude.
Yeah,
Bro.
dude, it's so refreshing because around here I'm the oldest person in the room all the time. Well, dude, I go to school. I'm a full-time student. Not right now since it's summertime. I'm taking the summer off for work. But around here, like I'm always like at the rec on campus, or I'm in the classroom. Like over there, like I'm a freaking grandpa.
Now, so Corey, you were in the Marine Corps too?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay. I'm not a sir, bro. I was never one of them.
My 5-year-old son is a sir, so if you don't like being called sir, you're gonna have to fuck all the way off.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, you go. A lot of people like from up north, they're like, "Ooh, don't call me sir." I don't like that. But like, I was raised in South Carolina, so like, I was raised saying yes, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah. What a lot of people misunderstand when it comes to the southern hospitality of the manners that have been instilled in us from a young age is my kids don't call you sir or ma'am for you. They do it for them. Like,
Right.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't use the elder pronouns for you. I use them for me.
The elder pronouns. I love it.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, there was a lady that wrote a song about it. I think it was in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. That the RESPECT, what it means to me. A little
Yeah.
fucking respect goes a long fucking way.
Dude, I
Little
remember-
Aretha Franklin, man.
I remember a very distinct flick on the back of my ear around my mother if I didn't say yes sir, yes ma'am to somebody else.
Yeah, mine
Yeah,
was,
it wasn't a flick on the ear for me.
that was a strong ass whooping for me.
It was or a yank on the ear to not bring herself into you, but to like pull you to her to like whisper something in your ear. She's pulling you, and you're like, ah.
Dude, when when I got in trouble, my dad, it was like when he'd pull that belt from his waistline, it was like revving a lawnmower or something. It's like he became faster. He became faster, man. Like it was boom, boom.
Where did the first stroke come from? What the fuck is this?
Oh my god!
I used to have like so my brother, we used to have BB gun wars. Did you guys ever have actual BB gun wars growing up?
No, what?
Yes.
Yep.
So I guess this was like, this must have been a 30-year-old thing, right? So like, me and the neighbors.
This was before the Nerf guns and airsoft and shit. It's all
we didn't have like the really awesome Nerf guns. We didn't have the really so it was like BB or pellet, choose your weapon, right? And
BB,
so I remember I shot my brother in the balls once. And then my dad had an old Caprice Classic station wagon. The thing was probably never going to drive again, with the wood grain paneling, like Christmas Vacation style in the backyard. And he had the back window down in that thing, right? So the neighborhood kids and us, and we were kind of like out in the country, and we're having a BB gun war, right? Dude, the next day, my dad came in the house. They're like, who? Like, dude, he had stars all on the inside of and the BBs were still in the car because they went right through the back into the front windshield and cracked the windshield and stuff. I remember shooting my brother in the head. He had a BB like lodged in his head. We had to get like tweezers and pull it out, bro.
Did you guys ever have the the fireworks fights?
Yes, with the Roman candles.
Okay, no. Okay, I swear to God, this is a true story. So when I was in high school, my freshman, sophomore year, one of my best friends, we were in junior RTC together. His dad was the chief of police. Okay, his dad brought home riot gear one time so we could have a fireworks fight. We shot the fucking artillery shells at each other. The motherfuckers are like that big loud. And you see these two little kids in this like 9 sizes too big riot gear with this shield shooting these fucking things at each other. And that bitch comes at you and goes, boom! And that shield goes, da, 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 and it just explodes in front of you. The scariest shit I've ever done in my life, but it was a fucking blast.
Well, dude, I'm like, dude, we were just shooting Roman candles at each other. I didn't have riot gear. I had like cardboard.
I got with like my super redneck friends, and we were like, fuck it, like fuck snakes and M80s. Let's just go get a big ass like a dick load of bottle rockets, and we would get glass bottles, clip the end of the fucking stick off, light them, drop them in the bottle, and just point them at each other. And I swear to God, one of my buddies was sitting on the ground. He was propping up bottle rockets on a log, and he would like light it and like lean over real quick. Well, he had basketball shorts on. He leaned over a little too far one time, and I shot one at him and got it up his shorts.
Oh, dude.
And it fucking popped. That motherfucker had a row. It was like that big around, dude, where it exploded right on his fucking ass.
This was before Jackass, man. This was like,
yes.
I mean, we did have one of the guys. His name was Sean. I'll never forget this guy. Right? He took a bottle rocket and he tied string around his dick and like shot the thing. And it wasn't long enough. So like when it started going off, he had all the sparks and stuff like flying and hitting his junk. He's like, oh. Bro, listen. When you're a dude, when you're a guy and you're young, dude, you're just tying stuff to it. You're just like doing it.
There's no telling what you're gonna come up with. You can be given. I could be given like the side of a cliff, a freaking fuck ton of natural just rocks everywhere, like a body of water, and I'll be entertained for days. I'm 27. I'm still.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie though. As growing up as a kid, I have never tied anything to my dick. I'm pretty sure that I would jack off a wildcat with a handful of cuckaburrs than tie something to my dick.
Never have I ever tied something to my dick.
That's a new one. That's a new one that I'll win. I know I can get that one. I know that's something I haven't done yet.
But I did. I tied something to mine. It's her name's Amanda. She's upstairs sleeping. But
that was good.
But in all seriousness, so we're talking about these like firework wars and BB gun wars and all these other things like that. And it's like when I see like the story of like Jason Pierre-Paul like blowing his hand off with fireworks, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, we had all-out wars. We were shooting them at each other. Yeah. How did you blow off your freaking fingers, man? Like, what are these guys doing?
I don't get
we knew to let go. And we knew to let go at least, you know.
Jason Pierre-Paul was just like, oh,
I'm gonna see how long I can hold on to this firecracker.
I want to know what the fuck happened to common sense, because I remember for my 12th birthday, my stepdad and mom got me a 20 gauge shotgun and like 100 fucking rounds. And we lived on 60 acres in Tennessee, so we lived right on the Tennessee-Kentucky border. And we had this spring-fed creek that run through our place and copperheads fucking everywhere. Well, they got me that shotgun, and a month later, you couldn't find a fucking snake on that place anywhere. Like, you couldn't have dug a fucking hole and found a snake. And I'm all day long I just walk up and down that 60 acres, up and down that creek, just
looking for snakes.
Boom! And every couple of weeks, I'd walk up to the house, I need more rounds, and we'd run into town, go get me more 20 gauge shotgun shells, come back. Boom!
I got a 14-year-old. Listen, I don't mean to sound like an old fogey. There's no way I'm letting them have firework fights or BB gun fights.
No way, dude.
No, here's some safety glasses. Go ahead, fun.
But like, I'll give him a 20 gauge.
Absolutely.
Yep. I'll tell you what.
Because he'll know how to use them.
Yeah. I bought my daughter for her 7th birthday. I bought her one of those 22 crickets, the little single action, not single action, but the bolt action 22 rifle. And so we take it out to my ex-wife's property. I take it out there and my trunk up to their little stock tank, and it wasn't full yet. So I put a box out there and I put a little cheap scope on it, and I was like, all right, and I was teaching on sight in and everything. And I shot it a couple of times, kind of got it dialed in where it was, about like that from about, 20, 30 yards off. And so my daughter's sitting there shooting, and she's kind of scared of it. I was like, just don't aim, pull the trigger. And she's like, but what if I miss? I was like, it doesn't matter. I just want you to shoot it so you know it's not going to hurt you. And so she fires it, and I'm like, was that scary? And she's like, nah. And I'm like, all right, well, back around, let's do it again. And so she gets dialed in. She's hitting the box every time, and I'm super proud, super excited. And my 5-year-old son sitting in the back of the truck, and I was like, do you want to try? And he was like, yes, sir. I was like, okay. So he lays down. I've got a horse blanket, like a saddle blanket, laying in the back of the pickup. And he gets down, and he sights in. I'm like, can you see the box? And he's like, yes, sir. I was like, can you see the crosshairs? He says, yes, sir. I was like, put the crosshairs on the middle of the box, and then reach around and with your index finger, slowly pull the trigger as slow as you can. He says, okay. And he does it, and he hits the box first try. My 5-year-old hits the box first try. And I'm like the proudest dad on the planet at this point. And I'm like, whoa, you just hit it first try. I shit you not, my 5-year-old goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you cocky little motherfucker.
Oh,
yeah, like no big deal, dude. And that,
bro. So, been doing this for 20 years.
So that's kind of how I was. I've just kind of like not been. I've been like a pretty not bad shot pretty much since I picked up a rifle, basically. But I mean,
I'm just a cornman, bro. Like I'm not a good shot. I'm just guns blazing, bro. I'm just like, I'm wild doc, yo. Give me that.
I was a machine gunner, so I was the Oprah of the Marine Corps. I was like, you get a 7.62. You get 7.62.
But dude, some of the coolest things Doc got to do was like in training, like when I got to like shoot the mounted 50 cal, or like on the ground where you're watching them tracers going. It's like ba 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 ba, and the rocks. That's all I remember. It's like the rocks and the dirt and the mound in front of me that's just forming like this mountain in front of me, like with all the hot shells around it. Everything's just going dum 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 dum.
You can
Amazing.
watch the incendiary rounds going on.
And what's the
Yes.
what's the grenade? It's like a mock.
The Mark 19. The Mark 19.
Whoa.
Oh, I got to shoot.
Dude,
Okay, so
you want to let you know something crazy? You want to know something crazy? So I was selected whenever I was a E3 still. I was a Lance Corporal. I was selected to go to AMGC. It's an Advanced Machine Gun Leadership course, and we learned how to use the Mark 19 like a fucking mortar system.
yeah. Those are bad motherfucking weapons, dude.
Dude, it was pretty cool. You with the it's a bigger tripod, but you basically just put the leg all the way up to where it's like as steep as possible, and it's literally you use this tool. Man, I don't remember it, but you have to use like a topographical map to plot where you're shooting from, and you use it just like a mortar system. It's just uses a different tool.
Dude, because that's like because those are like. What are those, like 25 or like 50 like feet, or how many meters radius for that? Like
it's a 5 meter kill radius.
Okay, 5. Okay, all right, 5 meters. So it's like, all right, yeah. So I mean, it's still a big. Dude, those things are huge. And then
anything within 15 meters of an impact is gonna get pretty fucked up,
dude. And then the squad automatic weapons, bro. Those
Very
saws,
unhappy.
those saws. Those like the
man.
900 round, like I forget what they were, but one was like 900 rounds and one was like 600 rounds per like minute or whatever. Dude, Doc getting to fire one of those, man.
The 240 was my favorite weapon by far.
They're just unbelievable. But the liberals believe the liberals believe that you can just go to a gun show in backwoods Texas and buy one of these things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Because you can own them, right? Like,
if you know the right people, you can.
I mean, if you got like $250,000, I'm sure you can.
No, when I was in the Marines, so any branch of the military, they always say you don't ever volunteer for anything because you're always going to get with all the shit work, right? Well, my fucking ass, I'm like, fuck y'all, I'm volunteering for fucking everything. Now, every now and again, you get stuck with the job of like, hey, I know we haven't used the third story of the barracks in like 9 years. But we got to clean it out because we're going to have another unit come in and move into the third story. And our job was to clean out the fucking defrosted freezers that someone left their fucking their catfish bait in or some shit like that. Every now and again, you get those. But like one time, it was like, we need volunteers. And I'm like, fuck, I'll volunteer. And I went to the grenade range and threw grenades for 3 days because they didn't want to, or they're expiring. Some stupid fucking thing. The military decides that it's expiring, so we need to expend these. And so I chunked grenades for 3 days.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And one time it was.
You're cutting it in and out, buddy.
Yeah, he's in the backwoods.
Some stupid shit, and lead them on. And I was like,
there it is.
And that's what.
You've been cutting in and out, Corey. I'm sorry.
You heard that too?
Fuck.
There was nothing, dude. There was nothing coming through, and then he says, "And beat him off."
Yeah, I'm sorry. You've been cutting in and out. Oh man.
I'm sure it was a great story. All I got out of it was "and beat him off."
And we're gonna beat him up now.
That's pretty much how the story goes.
That's awesome, dude.
Oh man.
Hey,
Well,
on a real, just before you're probably got to end this thing or whatever, but I just wanted to say, like, how funny is it that, like, on a serious note, all of the major cities across the country, Austin, Chicago, LA, New York City, Portland, I don't even really want to call them major, but whatever, Minneapolis, dude, all of those major cities that defunded their police departments in a big way, all of their homicide rates have gone through the roof. And now listen, I'm not happy that there are more murders. I'm not saying that I'm happy that there are more homicides. I'm just saying that's what you get when you defund your fighting force, right? Like, they're like, let's just give all the cops, they can only have pistols. They don't get rifles anymore. And dude, the difference between having a pistol, a 9mm, or like, and a rifle is like. I don't think people really understand that. I don't
They
think
don't
people
understand the difference. They don't.
If you're a good shot with a handgun, with a pistol, you're probably what 50 yards, maybe 100 yards, like
That's
50 good shot.
a
100
long
yards,
ass way with a pistol.
right?
50
And then
yards is a long ass way with a pistol.
Yeah.
exactly. So like, and a lot of times, like those rounds, I've seen rounds like pistol rounds, like hit something and fall. They don't necessarily even go through. You know what I'm saying? So like, but the rifle, now you just changed the game. Now you're hitting pretty. If you're a good shot, pretty easily. 500 yards you could. Like if you're a real good shot. And those are just those rounds are just ripping through. I don't get it, man.
The thing is, like, as far as Texas goes, if you want to defund our police, I mean, okay. I mean, I'm capable of doing it by myself because I'm going to protect me and mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have the rounds and the capability. So I love all these. And it has to be. Yeah, it has to be the people that live in places like Chicago and Portland and New York City. Like, if I break in your house, what the fuck you gonna do? I'm gonna shoot you in the fucking face. I mean, we're not fighting. I don't know where the fuck you think you are, but you just walked into the wrong motherfucker's house. It's like, I'm waiting for this day. I wish a motherfucker would.
This is my domicile.
I replied to one of those videos one time, and like it was enough for me. Like there's so many different variations.
It's so cringe. But listen, I'm ready for the zombie apocalypse when all these people start changing. Listen, I have already in my sprinkler system around my house, I have canisters of gas under the ground that are hooked. They are hooked into the water line. All I got to do is pull a switch, and then I'm firing tracer rounds around the house, baby. Like I'm gonna light it up, ring of fire around my house. You ain't getting through.
Have you seen that? Have you seen those videos? They're like, would you fight me for fucking $20 million or?
Yeah. Would you punch me in the face?
I don't get that.
I'm like, I'm not a violent guy.
Yes.
I'm not a violent guy, but if you're gonna give me $5 million to punch you.
You know the guy that always has fake bling around him, and he's always like, I got $1 million, I got $1 million on my teeth. I got $1 million on my teeth.
No, you got tinfoil in your mouth, bro.
Oh,
this from the dentine ice you were
some dude stitched his video and said, dude, respectfully, I would hit you in the face for the pennies in between my couch cushions. That comment section just did not fail, bro.
But dude, when you get a chance, make sure you check out the new dance trend. I'm telling you, the Biden empty pocket walk. I'm telling you.
Check out Jocko Willink.
Jocko Willink.
I'm
telling you, will not be sorry. You will not be sorry.
Okay.
And then Zig Ziglar, right?
Zig Ziglar.
Yes.
Not Dirk Diggler.
He was an old man back in the day when he was doing his motivational speaking. But yeah, you're not gonna find anything new from him because if you do, it's coming from heaven.
Not Dirk Diggler, Zig Ziglar, because Dirk Diggler, totally different person.
Not Tank Tickler.
Yes, 100%.
Conservative Mama has a question. She says, if we had a purge, where are you going first?
I have a family. I have a place. I have a place to go.
You're not even going to give it up? I have a quiet place.
I have a very remote place that I will not exactly disclose, but it is in the vicinity of Hyco, Texas. Within
I've got a bunker full of cool shit. You can't have
yeah. Just in case it happens. Just in case it happens, I don't want it to be on record.
Well, gee, I feel real. You better text it to me, bro.
Yo, dude, you're invited. We need all the firepower we need. There's a big old windmill out there we can go hang out on top of, dude.
Yes. Just give Doc the gun, man. Let me have the gun. I'm not a good shot, but if it's a big group of zombies, I'm just spraying, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Dude.
I mean, if I take my pants off, I'll bring the helicopter.
Wait a minute. I think I know what kind of helicopter he's talking about.
I think he's talking about the helicopter hat, the kind of just like.
Oh,
I'm talking about my dick.
I thought he was talking about
I'm
helicopter.
100% talking about my dick. Yeah.
Okay, all right, he is. Well, it's okay. You can do the helicopter. You can do the helicopter dick with the thing on top of your head, and just at the same time, it'd be like a double.
Yeah, you can just call me Little Dewey. I'm golden. Yes.
Little Dewey. They call me Skin Tag Steve. That's how small mine is. It's like a little. It's like a little skin tag. You reach in your pants, you like scratch, and then you're like, oh, what do I do?
I told my ex-wife when we first started dating, like way back in the day, I told her, I was like, look, I'm not going to pop her cherries, but I put hella dents in that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. Boomer, where are you going if there's a purge?
Man, I'm going to that undisclosed location that Jace has. That's where I'm going. Where Corey's got the helicopter thing going on, right? You know what I'm saying? I can just see it now. Can you not see it? Like you said, you got the big window. You got Corey off to the right, just swinging it around, doing his thing. You know, you're just like feeding, like Bandolero, just like feeding me the rounds, and I'm just like Duke Nukem, right?
And dude, what we can do is we can go take a little stroll on the Ranger and go grab all the tree stands and post them around the telephone poles that are close by the house, and then you got your own spot.
Dude, man, I'm telling you. No, I probably would, and I got to work on this, but I got to find a house that's at the top of a mountain peak, right? That has a spring coming out the top, because I got to have fresh water. Got to have the spring coming out, right? That's important, right? But then it's got to have one side. One side's got to have like a water barrier, right? Because I don't want to have to defend 360. Dude, I've thought about this. I've really thought about this. I don't know if this house exists, but I'm going to find it. And when I do, it's going to be mine.
It's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be up to the top, but it's going to have enough flat land so that I can have like chickens, maybe a goat, so I can make some goat cheese. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, some goat cheese.
Hey, and you know what?
It's a zombie apocalypse and everything is going to shut the bitch. We got wine and goat cheese.
What else do you need, brother?
And listen. If Amanda turns into a zombie, if she's gone, I'm just like, well, it's just you and me, goat.
Actually, speaking of goats, there's a fun fact. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I think it was 13th, 14th century. It was actually in the Middle East where they first discovered that they can use goat intestines as condoms, as contraceptives, to keep from getting people pregnant. And it wasn't until it was modernized by Western society that they actually took the intestine out of the goat.
See, so there you go. Party at Boomer's in the mountain of Tennessee with the goat intestine condoms, bro. Yes,
good thing.
All the goat cheese. I hope my kids are in bed. It's summer. They're probably like, "What is Dad talking about?" Probably get their ear to the vent.
No joke. I've actually given this a lot of thought. In the event of like a purge situation, I shit you not, I'm loading my family up, and anybody's close enough that wants to go, and I'm going to Wyoming. I'm going to the mountains, and I'm going to build something on top of a fucking mountain by a lake and by a fresh water source. Because
there you go.
I don't know if y'all have ever been there, but there's wildlife fucking everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to hurt for food.
See, like mountain lions,
and I'm just saying, in the event of a purge or apocalypse, y'all vegans are fucked, because I'm sorry, but nobody's going to be there to process y'all shit no more.
That's so true, dude. That's so true.
I'm sorry, bro.
Is this gluten free?
Yeah, you cannot find kale on the prairie, bro. Shit ain't happening.
That's so true, dude.
I'm just saying. you're going to be eating some rabbit or some possum or some deer. It's going to happen. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you can get enough protein from the head of some dude's dick. I don't know.
Or you can fucking leaves. You can eat fucking leaves off the trees for the rest of your life.
Maybe a little skunk.
Are bugs vegan?
Ooh,
I know ants are a really good source of protein, but
yeah, no, they're totally in trouble, man. They're like, I've got Crohn's disease. No, I'm like, you're just gonna die.
You're just gonna have to shit. You're just gonna have to shit your pants, okay? Because we gotta eat.
I know you got IBS. I know you can't, but like, I'm just saying, they're zombies.
I mean, pooping you
like
like up in the woods. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I got nothing for you. Sorry. We ran out of 6 weeks ago.
All I can see in my head is if there's like a purge and it's not zombies and it's like those. All I can see is like the people that would be coming up against us are the guys that are like, how much you gonna hit me in the face? It's all gonna be those guys. So don't worry about it.
If those guys come at me in a purge situation, I'm just gonna put the rock down and go, all right, look, we can fight, but I'm gonna give you fair warning. If you knock me out, fair game. I get it. If I knock you out first and you're out cold, I'm fucking you. Okay? So make your decision now. I'm fucking you. So make your decisions now about how you want this to
go. Dude, guess what? Guess what would happen? And I say this with all the love in the world. Okay? And so because if he sees this, he's got to know I'm saying this with all the love. If you put that out there where you're like, if I knock you out, I'm fucking you, right? Like, listen, all of a sudden you're gonna see like from the line, you're gonna see like this guy like pull his. It's gonna be like conservative Anthony. He's gonna be like, here.
Oh my god.
No, Ant.
Hello.
No, Ant's my man, dude. I love fucking
knock me out, big boy.
Actually, I'm planning on. I think it's 4th of July. So normally, my ex-wife and I try to schedule like their family trips and stuff with her family around my work schedule. That way I get my kids when I'm off. Well, we just did a schedule switch that way, like 2 shifts, like your shift doesn't work 2 Christmases in a row. And so we just did a switch, and we didn't know that was happening when she made these plans. And so my next days off, my kids are going to be on both weekends, which is the last weekend of next month and the 4th of July weekend. And so I'm probably going to load up and fly to Florida and go stay with Flawless Lawless. And we're going to make a little fucking Florida trip and go see Ann and Simon. Like, we're just going to go fuck off and shoot guns and go on helicopter rides.
You go on helicopter rides?
Whoa, no.
Sorry.
She likes,
we know about the helicopters, bro.
No. She likes eating pussy more than I do. I'm just saying. I mean, it might be a tie.
You said you were visiting Anthony.
Anthony would love.
It depends if he tries to fight me. I mean, I'm just saying.
Now can I tell you? So like, I went down. I hung out before they did the other Florida trip. I was down there with Barbie and Flawless and awesome, cool people, right? But I stayed in the same condo room as Jimmy and Conservative Ant. So Jim's his husband, right? Yeah. And so Jim and Conservative Barbie slept in a bed together, and me and Anthony shared a bed for like a week. we were sleeping cheek to cheek, man.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, and people were like, "You Republicans, you guys are homophobes." I'm like, man,
dude, I went to this election party in Chicago, dude. I'm telling you, if you say that like if you're one of those like hard and this goes on the other side of the spectrum too. If you're one of those hard lefties that says all conservatives are bigots, homophobes, racist people, dude, if one of those people would have walked inside of Anthony's election party, they would have shit their pants. There's Black people there. There was a Latino there, official King Berto.
That's right, because I didn't get to go to that one. That was like the first meetup. Yeah.
Craig Long was there, official King Berto, Red Pill Conservative.
Brianna was there.
Brianna M was there, Conservative Ant, and a lot. Dude, there was so many people there. But yeah, if like they would have not known what the hell to do if they had walked into that on that election party. Like, what is going on? Like, there's a gay Italian over there. There's a black guy over there. There's a fucking Latino guy over there, and then I'm over here like white as hell, just like just like shut
I'm
margarita
just the
down.
white guy in the corner drinking my White Claws.
Oh, dude, no. Jimmy made the best margarita. I drank the big jug of margarita mix that he made.
They just don't realize. They don't realize how progressive the like young Republicans and Republicans in general actually are.
We just don't talk about it, dude.
We actually, right? We don't play the whole race card game. We don't do it.
We don't need to validate ourselves to you fucks.
Right. I'm not gonna go up to a black person and be like, "I'm so sorry for being white," because what you've done right there is you've already put yourself above them by apologizing for. You're assuming that you're in a better position than them, and I'm like, dude, they could be a millionaire, and I'm over here I'm not even over like 6 figures or what. Like, it's so demeaning to do that. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, we got people like, no, you need to like kneel and like wash their feet. Do you remember when they were washing people's feet? Do you remember that?
I don't remember washing people's
at the beginning of like all of like the dude. It was you had in public. They were washing people like minority people's feet, like they were as like being sorry, dude. It's sorry, and it's always.
I don't give a fuck who you. You ain't touching my feet.
Dude, there's nothing worse. I'm sorry, there's nothing worse than a white liberal lady, and that's 90% of them. I'm telling you, it's all. It's what it is, man. It's what it is.
I have an aunt who's liberal. Her name is literally Karen.
And they are never.
I love her to death. She's amazing.
They are never original. They can't even get their own. Like, listen, Karen was
the insults.
Karen, snowflake, triggered. Listen, if you're listening out there and you're a liberal, all of those phrases were coined and termed to make fun of you. Now, if you want to appropriate them and use them to say, like, that's fine, whatever, but you're not original. You're not cool. You're not original. Come up with your own stuff, okay? They say we're in a cult and we embrace it. We're like, yeah, okay, that's cool. We meet on Wednesdays and Fridays at Trump o'clock. See you there.
Yeah.
What I want them to come up with, I don't want them to come up with their own appropriations and like their own what the fuck ever. I want them to come up with their own goddamn ideas and read some shit and think on their own. Because a lot of these liberals turn Republican over the whole Hillary Trump and like over this whole fucking last 8 years. Is because they've actually started looking shit up because they couldn't trust what they saw on TV and what they saw on Facebook anymore. So they actually started to read. I know that's that crazy fucking thing you do with your eyes and there's no pictures, but it can be boring sometimes. But I promise you, it can be done.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. There you go. The pronoun pullover.
Lazy.
Right? There needs to be a pop-up book for liberals that are becoming more conservative. It'd be like a pop-up book about like freedom and like capitalism and like all of like the good things that they need to like but it's awesome because you're right, because what's happening is they start to think on their own. They start to build a real basis of belief from which they can actually defend their position from. You have so many and that's why they get so emotional right from the rip when you start to have a dialogue with them, because they don't know how to defend the position that they're just regurgitating. It's like, we already know what they're going to say. We already know what we're going to say because we actually believe and have had thought about what we believe. They don't. It's just talking points for them.
Well, I've learned from watching, like, what's the guy's name? He's the Change My Mind guy.
Oh, Steven Crowder. Like you're talking about.
Thank you.
I draw so much inspiration from that guy.
Yes.
I love Steven Crowder. If you're watching out there, please reach out.
Yes. But like what I've noticed is a lot of whenever you get into a Republican liberal debate, and I don't mean like politicians or people that are actually educated. And when I say educated, I don't mean like schooling. I'm talking actually educate yourself in the subjects that you're talking about. But you're generally, your Republican is arguing from a position of belief. like I believe this to be morally correct, or I believe this to be actually correct. And then
And
your
here's why.
liberal side is, well, this is how I feel. Okay, first of all, I don't give a fuck how you feel.
Yeah.
I don't. Like, facts,
And I
fuck
can't
your
explain
feelings.
it.
I don't give a shit about your feelings. This is how it is. Like, I
I
understand
can't
that,
explain it.
that
It's
you
too
feel,
nuanced. It's too nuanced to explain to you. And I'm like, well, please try. Try to at least explain it to me. They're like, no, I just can't. It's too nuanced.
No, because you won't. Because you
can't.
won't because you
Exactly. Absolutely. I feel like I've known you all my life, guys.
right.
I know. we like barely did like an introduction to this whole thing. Like we literally just like whoop.
Jumped in. Just jumped in. Hey, that's the beauty of the military, man.
I love it,
That's
dude.
a fact. That's a fact right there.
After I asked you to come on, Boomer, I was just like strolling through, and then this just showed up on my For You page, just like saying some funny shit, and I was like, oh, dude, this would be freaking perfect.
Nice. And I just love, again, people will mistaken my goofiness or whatever, and they'll say some dumb stuff on my page, and it's just like they're serving it up like it's a Happy Meal. Like it just lands in my lap where they're like, "You're not a scientist," and I'm like, "Oh, really?"
Are you talking like a COVID Happy Meal? Like
dude,
the Fauci ouchie Happy Meal?
Yes, the Fauci ouchie Happy Meal. It comes with the bobblehead. It comes with the
bobblehead, the toy.
It comes with the bobblehead, the toy. It comes out. It says yes, no, yes, no. 3 masks, 2 masks, 1 masks.
one mask.
There is no reason for Americans to be.
It makes no sense. 1 masks. You know.
Yes. The masks.
What's funny is when you say 1 masks, it actually reminds me of that. What was that stupid shit on TikTok like 2 years ago? It was the. What the fuck was that? Do y'all remember that?
No.
I wasn't on TikTok 2 years ago.
Bro, that so my background on TikTok is, so I started TikTok when I was going through my divorce because I needed an emotional, or like I needed an outlet, something just to fuck off with. And so I started telling jokes, and it started out with like Chuck Norris jokes. And I fucking love Chuck Norris jokes. Like, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the story of how Jesus walked on water, right?
Yes.
Did you know that Chuck Norris can fucking swim through land? Like, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but in the Vietnam War, Chuck Norris once threw a grenade and killed 50 men. 50! And then the grenade exploded. I mean, that's a dangerous fucking man.
It's like Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the earth down.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yes.
Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience.
Dude, I'm telling you, you're just somewhere out there. You're just moments away from like death by Chuck Norris roundhouse.
Yes.
You will not see it coming.
That's a fact. I'm gonna leave you. I don't know if we're gonna end this soon, but this is like one of my favorite stories, and it's completely off topic. But I've been thinking about it this whole time. And have you guys ever like snuggled? And do not take this in a Catholic priest way, but have you ever snuggled up with a kid and like whether it's your kid or
I'm Catholic.
I'm sorry.
That's funny.
Well,
that is funny
you're
though.
not a priest,
That's funny.
So there's no ickle going on. I'm just saying. Anyways, and so like. You ever like cuddle up with your kid on a couch or something, and like, you know how they nuzzle up in your armpit and you got your arm around them, you're watching a movie or whatever, and like you can feel every little move they make, whether they're scared or nervous or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting on the couch with my little boy, and he's like curled up in my arm, and we're watching this movie, and he's kind of got his arm around me a little bit, and I got my arm around him, and he gets real tense all of a sudden, like almost shakes, and I'm like, you okay, buddy? And he was like, yes, sir. I'm like, are you scared? He goes, yes, sir. And I'm like, buddy, it's just a movie. It's okay. Like, there's no reason to be scared. He's like, is that lady fixing to die? And I kind of looked at the TV for a second, and I was like, well, I mean, judging by the size of that horse's dick, probably, buddy.
Okay. I felt like it was a freaking campfire, man. I'm like, where's the marshmallows? Let's make some s'mores. And then he drops that. Dude, come on now. All right. I got one for you. Okay. All right. Now listen, Boomer, listen, I did swear a few times in this. I feel like I was able to let loose a little bit. I generally don't swear. That's one of the things that you'll notice about me is like, I'll say something like, instead of, I'll say like rump instead of ass. You know what I mean? So like, but anyway, so because I feel like, especially on my TikTok, my kids are going to like watch this. They do watch this. They do see it. And it's like, I can't like tell my kids not to like, anyway. So, all right, here's the joke. All right. So I walked into this bar, right? And I saw McCulloch and he was just sitting there all alone. Just looked really sad. I said, McCulloch, what's going on? He says, you see that stone wall over there? We built it with me own hands. You think they call me McCulloch the wall builder? No. He says, you see that church across the street? Built it from the ground up. Do you think they call me McCulloch the church builder? No. But fuck one goat.
I'll tell you what.
And you're a goat fucker, yes.
Yeah. My buddy told me this one on the plane the other day.
I'll save the extension. I'll save. There's actually another part to that joke. I'll save that for another time. I'll drop it on you.
Oh, I love that, dude.
I got to tell you this real quick. My buddy told me this the other day. There's this liberal animal activist driving down the road in his Prius one day, and he sees this goat farmer off on the side of the road, and the farmer's heard this. Goat farmer, yeah. Okay, so the guy sees the goat farmer, and he's like, he pulls over and he walks up to the farmer. He says, "Excuse me, sir, are these your goats?" And he was like, "Yeah." He says, "So you're a goat farmer?" And he goes, "Yeah." He says, "Well, I actually have a very rare talent that I can actually speak to animals and they can speak back to me. Do you mind if I have a conversation with your goats?" And he's like, Sure. Go right ahead. And so the activist walks up to the first goat and says, does he treat you guys pretty good? Do you guys get plenty of food? And the goat says, "Yes, sir. You know, we have plenty of grass to eat, and a couple of times a week he gives us grain." This farmer's like, and so the activist walks over to the second goat. The farmer doesn't even know what to say right now. He's just like, what the fuck? And so he walks up to the second goat and says, "Do you guys have plenty of water?" And the goat says, "Yes, sir. Where we normally graze, there's a pond that we can drink out of. But when it's dried up, he gets a water jug out there, so we have plenty of water." And this farmer's finally coming to like, what the fuck? This is crazy. And so he looks at the farmer, and the activist starts to walk towards the second goat, or a third goat, and the farmer goes, "Don't talk to that bitch over there. She's a fucking liar. She's a fucking liar."
She's a fucking liar.
I see. I knew that's where it was going, but I didn't know how. And
I didn't know how it was going to get.
You don't even have to say it. You know what I mean?
Oh my god! Don't talk to that bitch.
She's a
Oh my god!
Excellent. That is awesome, dude.
Dude, jokes. I can do jokes all day from when I was a little bitty kid.
Yeah.
I've always loved to make people laugh. I love it when people smile. I love it when I'm the cause of that. Yeah. And so I just retain jokes. Like, and I'm talking like, and I'll tell you this, and it's really taboo nowadays, but my favorite type of jokes are racist jokes. And it doesn't matter what race you're making fun of, because the reason I love racist jokes is because when you make fun of a race or make fun of a racist thing or a stereotype, you take its power away because you're turning it into a joke. And that's my favorite thing to do, because I mean, nobody's different.
I love how you see it that way.
That's what Carlin did. Carlin made fun of everybody in the room prior. Yeah. Made fun of everybody in the room, because as soon as you decide not to, and you elevate and you put some race or some stereotype on a pedestal and make it off limits, you're killing it.
Yeah.
Dude, Daniel Tosh does that in his stand-up. I mean, it's fucking epic.
Dude, so
that is cool how you see it that way. It does take its power away. That is cool.
I'll tell you one. So I'll just tell one more. I gotta tell this joke now.
I'm gonna tell one too. So you go ahead.
You're talking about race. Okay, so like
absolutely.
So there
Don't get us
this guy.
banned from YouTube, okay?
There's-
see things a
Don't
certain
worry.
way, but
I'm not
those
going full.
motherfuckers
I'm not
don't.
going full racist. I'm only going half racist. Okay. So I can control my racism. I can dial it down. All right. So there's the. I like the way he's waiting. Look at me.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
I'm already laughing at my own joke, and I haven't even started. All right. So they're digging deep in this mine, right? This group of guys, and they're miners, and there's one new guy, right? And his name, his name is Chin. Okay. Now listen, that Chin is like, he's new immigrant. Like, he doesn't speak much English, and they're like a good distance away from the opening of the mine. So the foreman on the job, they're running out of supplies and stuff like that. And they're like, all right, well, we're going to send Chin to go get some of the supplies. Right. So they say, hey, Chin, come here. We need you to go. It's about 45 minutes to the entrance, but we need you to go get these supplies for us. And Chin looks at him and says, okay, supplies. Okay. So like Chin leaves, right? It's like been like, he already knows what I'm going to say. It's been like 3.5 hours, right? Still no sign of Chin. So the foreman is getting worried. The foreman is like, guys, I don't know, man. It's 45 minutes. I mean, it's been like 3.5 hours. Where is Chin? We need to go find him. So they're like on their way out of the mine, right? And they maybe like 45 yards away from where they were. They take like this sharp turn, and all of a sudden Chin jumps out and goes, supplies!
I knew it was coming. Oh my god!
It's
I knew that
great.
was coming. As soon as you said surprise, I was like,
That's what she said.
Supplies, motherfucker.
Yes.
Oh. Oh my god. So.
"Oh, rise, motherfucker!"
So this little kid named Charlie, he turns, it's his birthday today. He turned 7. He walks up to his dad. He says, "Dad, guess how old I am?" He said, "I don't know. How old are you?" He said, "It's my birthday today. I'm 7." He's like, "Oh, well, congratulations. Go tell your granddad." Granddad's sitting in the recliner, walks up to his granddad. He says, "Granddad, did you know it's my birthday?" He's like, "It is. How old are you?" He said, "Guess how old I am, Granddad?" He said, ripped his britches down, stuck his finger in his ass, twirled it around a bunch of times. Smelled his finger. He said, "You're 7." He said, "How'd you know?" He said, "I asked your dad a little bit ago."
Dude, there's so many variations of that joke.
Okay, so-
There's so many.
Boomer, I got one for you. All right, so
All right.
there's a fella. He walks in. He goes to church. He goes to confession because a good Catholic confesses their sins on a regular basis.
Uh-huh.
And so he goes and sits on a confession. Bless me, Father, Father, sin. Father on the other side of the little screen says, "For confess your sins, my child, and all will be forgiven." And so they're going through their rigmarole, and somebody kicks the front door of the church open. "Father, Father!" And the priest pokes his head out like, "What?" He says, "There was a lady just hit by a car right outside the steps, and she's fixing to die, and she needs her last rite." And he goes, "Oh, and he looks at the guy like in the middle of a confession. He's like, "Dude, go. I'll still be here. She needs that." He was like, "Okay." So he goes to take off, and he comes back. He goes, "Just sit in my seat." He goes, "You come here all the time. You know what to say. Just sit in my seat, take a confession, and then tell me what it is whenever I come back." He's like, "There's a list on the wall. It tells you how many Hail Marys to give. You just go down the list and tell them what they need to say, and then move on. And he was like, "Okay." So the guy sits down. Priest takes off running. So he's sitting there in the confession booth. This lady comes, opens the confession booth, gets in, sits down, and she says, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." And the man goes, "Well, confess your sins, my child, and all will be forgiven." And the woman says, "I performed oral sex on a man that was not my husband." And so he's over on this list going, blowjob, 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 blowjob. It's not on there. And he's like, he's kind of panicking a little bit because he doesn't know what to do. And so he cracks the door open. There's the altar boy, and he's like, come here. And the kid's like weirded out a little bit. He kind of walks over there. He goes, "What does the father usually give for a blowjob?" And the kid goes, "I don't know, $5 in a Snickers bar."
As soon as as soon as you said the altar boy, I was like, "Yep, here we go." Here we
Oh
go.
my god! Altar boy was standing right there. Oh my
I
god!
like it. You don't ever want to hear a Boomer Justin confession.
Oh
He
god!
drops the Bible like 9 times.
Taxi cab
Oh, man.
confessionals.
You walk out of confession and the preacher's sweating.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like, never again. Like never again.
Guys, I can talk to y'all. I can talk to you all. I feel like I've known y'all forever.
Same.
Y'all are awesome, man. But let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and call it a day, guys. We're going on almost going on 2 hours now, dude. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so
No,
much.
I loved it.
Thanks,
Well,
man.
Again sometime.
Thank everybody for
Check
showing
out the Biden pocket walk.
up.